Well, yeah, you also mentioned that, your daughters kind of stepped up.
Yeah, dude.
And how they learned to guide you on this trip. What kind of sparked that? What's the story there?
So we talked with you and Natalie, my wife Angela, and I. We're very interdependent. We're very in tune. She knows how to work with me, and she's a freaking amazing woman. I love her so much, and she's like my best friend for life, dude. I love her so much. And this trip was a big deal. If a lot falls on your partner's shoulders, we got 2 kids and a blind husband. It's like she's the only one who can be the adult. If it's a bad situation, she makes a call. We have to listen. No questions asked. She saw something that we didn't see. So there's trust, like just blind trust, no pun intended. Excuse me. So my wife did awesome. She kept it cool, calm, collected. I mean, 99% of the time, she was just, this is what we're doing. And she just kept her cool. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. With all the challenges and all the stuff we were doing, she really did awesome. And my daughter, Peyton, just turned 9 back in April. And for the past year, she's not been really eager to guide. I think she's kind of scared of it. I'm sick, I'm a tall guy, and, she doesn't want to hurt her dad. And I think she felt a little unconfident about it. So on this trip, we found this routine, because that was really going to be the challenge. Moving as a family of 4, how do we do that, right? Mom can't hold 3 people's hands, right? Yeah. And we've kind of developed where she walks in front with the 2 girls and I follow, and that works pretty well. But the sidewalks and the walking paths in Waikiki are too small for that. So we had to go 2 by 2. So it kind of was a forced thing, but my wife would lead with Lila, who's my 5-year-old. Mm-hmm. And then Peyton and I would be behind her. Peyton would hold my left hand. I used my cane with my right. And we developed, like, the first day going to the airport, she stepped up and she was into it. Yeah. And then the entire rest of the trip, walking at least 5 to 6 miles a day, she was my guide. Wow. And we developed, a hand squeeze for a drop. That means a curb's coming. And if I wasn't using my cane, it jolt me back, I'd stop immediately, man. I have to blind trust again, pulls my hand back, I stop. And
that's cooler than a personalized handshake, dude.
Dude, it was amazing. Yeah. And we weren't even talking about it, dude. Like, we literally were just cruising, and our hands would get sweaty. We're walking, it's humid. And then I take my hand off. She put her hand right on my pocket, on my pocket of my board shorts, or grab the edge of my pocket, and she would keep me there, and then she could control me from there. We'd get our hands back together. But the way she stepped up and tackled it, it blew my mind. I mean, I get emotional thinking about it, because I was so proud of her. Yeah. And then what we did together was just, we grew, as a family, we grew. And on the second to last day, we have this photo we've been taking. I have a picture of me and my dad on this wall when I was 4, a picture of me and him when I was like 25, and then a picture of me and him with Peyton when she was 2.5, and then a picture now we just did of my dad, me, Peyton at 9, and Lila at 5. So it's a pretty cool photo. And we started that tradition with me, my wife, and the girls. But it's a seawall called the Kiddie Pool down by the Ala Moana Surf Rider in Waikiki, and it's a really shallow pool, maybe a foot, 18 inches deep, but in the corners, the sand gets sucked out from the ocean on the other side of the wall, creating a vacuum of the water, right? Like a little riptide kind of deal. And there's a corner of it you can jump off into the water. You have to jump out over rocks into the water. So my daughter's like, I want to do it. I'm like, all right. Like, she's a great swimmer. Like, she's strong. All right, go for it. So she goes up there all by herself. She's got her backwards trucker hat on, a total little beach girl, and does it, man. And she's like, Dad, let's do it. And I'm like, I'm all up for the thrill, but not seeing, I don't want, it was scary, dude. Yeah. I don't have my cane with me. We're in the ocean. And
how far is the drop entirely. Again?
Maybe 4 feet. It's nothing crazy, but it's high enough where, if you fell on a rock, you're not going to feel good. You know what I mean? And so she gets me up on top of the thing, and I'm following her just like we've been guiding the whole time. And I'm like, where's the edge? She's like 3 feet, 2 feet. She's like, okay, your toes are on the edge. She's like, okay, jump out and right. And I said, what? She's like, yeah, jump out and right. So right's the deeper part. I'm like, oh, okay. Are there rocks there? She's like, yeah, but just don't go too right. And I'm like, oh my God. Wow. This is terrifying. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I just did it, and it was super rewarding, man. I was so proud of I was proud of her. I was proud of myself. Yeah. And then my little 5-year-old wanted to do it. So we had to kind of maneuver. I was like underneath her, trying to make sure she jumped out far enough. But, it inspired her too. And then, in the hallways of the hotel, going to and from the condo. My little 5-year-old's like, Dad, I'm going to be your guide. I want a guide. I want a guide. And she wants to do it because she knows they're helping me, like it's not here, take my hand. It's like they want to help. And it just made my heart just on fire, dude. Yeah. Just on fire.
Yeah. I mean, if that didn't, I think you wouldn't have a heart. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's such a good story.
Just moments, dude. And there's all these little moments that happen through this trip that wouldn't have happened. Now when we go out, we're going to go out to dinner tonight, hopefully. And I know Peyton, who's 9 years old, is going to be like, I got you, Dad. No, it's not a thing for her anymore. It's not something she's scared of. It built confidence. It built trust. Yeah. It built, that moment. And it helps my wife. It helps our crew, our house do more things now. So it was my messaging to this whole thing is, yeah, dude, it is scary. If you're going blind, if you still have good vision, but it's changing, like I know, you did your O&M, so something's up, maybe it's not completely measurable today. Something's up. And there's other people like, Dan Mancina, Justin Bishop, and Mark, all these people that may not see anything at all that have been down this road, and they still get scared, man. Like they still have moments because being blind is pretty terrifying.
And life in general is terrifying, and then you throw blindness into the mix.
Nobody gets out alive,
Yeah, true.
But it was I learned a lot.
So you're saying your message would be to just take that leap,
to do it.
Kind of like you did on that beach, where you got to take that leap and then
symbolically, that is a wonderful way to put that, my friend.
Yeah, it's like you got to, you could have said no, but then you wouldn't have had that moment, and then you wouldn't have inspired your, 5-year-old to want to jump, and then you wouldn't be sitting here talking to me about that really amazing memory that you have stored in your brain now. So sometimes you gotta you just gotta burst out of your comfort zone. You gotta make some stories happen. Stories don't just happen on their own. You gotta make some stories happen. And I think it's good advice.
Perfectly put.